Warning, if you don't like spoilers, do not watch the video.
Matt here wants to talk about the new unofficial David Bowie biopic called Stardust.
Yes, and if you don't mind, I gotta get this out of my system. It's kind of trash. Okay, so here's the basic story of Stardust. I'm gonna do it. Can I do it ASMR style to annoy everybody, please?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Here we are, boys. Strap your butts in. We're ASMRing this bitch. In 1971, David Bowie is on a tour of America, but the problem is he doesn't have a work visa. So now he has to go around the entire country, coast to coast, tit for tat, whatever that is, and he has to do vacuum cleaner parties. And that's not some euphemism for sex or orgies or anything. That is legitimately a thing. And also have some other industry parties, and along the way he eventually creates the character of Ziggy Stardust. There's only one problem with that, is that the creation of Ziggy Stardust amounts to 5 fucking minutes or something like that. It really is. You barely get an idea of what made Ziggy Stardust. There are stories I know are tied to Ziggy Stardust, but they don't dive deep into them. Because legally, you can't go over the creation of Ziggy Stardust, because you can't use any of the songs from that album. You can't use anything from Aladdin Sane, because the period they cover is before that album. You can't even use changes. You can't use any David Bowie songs. I think when they refer to a lyric in The Man Who Sold the World, it's just close enough to be reminiscent of that lyric, but isn't that lyric. It's like, if you can't do that, then just don't make the fucking movie. Just either give up completely, or scrap the Bowie tie and just come up with a fictional, like, folk star that becomes a rock and roller that's inspired by Ziggy Stardust, like Velvet Goldmine. And that movie was much better than this. Even that, I could see why David Bowie didn't want to get involved with that one. I don't even. There's a scene in Velvet Goldmine where the David Bowie type character has a young boy in his room, like bent over, and he has a watch in his hand, and for some reason, I pretty much thought, okay, he's gonna shove his fist up that kid for some reason. It's gross, it's horrible. I could see why David Bowie's like, no. It's like, David Bowie's like, no. Flat out. Anyway, but Stardust, it doesn't do anything like that. It doesn't make David Bowie be out to be like a, you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
the problem is he doesn't come off like, there's no confidence with David Bowie in this movie. Like, David Bowie was many things, but the most important thing is, even if he was unsure of himself, he still had some kind of confidence. He still had the balls to do something. Like, the David Bowie in this movie lacks so much confidence. I couldn't believe that was David Bowie. And that's ignoring the fact that Johnny Flynn, not a bad actor, not even a bad singer, doesn't look like David Bowie, or sound like him. That's the thing. His acting isn't terrible. He does put in a decent performance, but the voice is so off, I knew it wasn't David Bowie. I couldn't accept that was David Bowie.
Yeah, it was to the point where it like broke your illusion.
Completely. Especially once he adopted the Ziggy Stardust persona. It just looked off. The hair looked off. The costumes, where they tried their best to recreate the costumes of the later tours, but it still looked off. They used I forgot what the song is called. I know. I wish you would. That's the thing. For the Ziggy Stardust concert, their first concert, they cover I Wish You Would. And the thing is, Bowie did that song. It's on his album Pinups. But it's just not a good song for an opener. You know what song they could have done that he also covered? Let's Spend the Night Together. That's a better choice, you know? Or something or I'm Waiting for the Man would have been a better choice. I was gonna say Talking Heads, and that's wrong. Way wrong. It's Velvet Underground. They could have used an Iggy Pop song from that period. They could have done anything. They could have done All the Young Dudes, which is completely wrong because of timeline accuracy, but would be better than the song they did choose for that Ziggy Stardust concert.
Yeah.
And the way they handled things like his brother Terry was okay, I guess, but also not. I hate his wife. Like, I'm sure she had some negatives to her personality, but she wasn't a complete bitch. Jesus, every scene she's in, she's a complete and total, like, asshole. Every scene, I hate her. I just want her to leave the room.
Oh God.
Every single time, and she's not in it much, you know. And that's how annoying she is. That even with her little amount of screen time, I couldn't stand her character.
That's always the worst. I can't blame you for that one.
And yeah, and because they couldn't use David Bowie's music, you don't hear any of his classic tracks. You don't hear Changes, Ziggy Stardust, or even The Man Who Sold the World, or Space Oddity. You'll hear them talk about it. And I'll give them this, they referenced the Laughing Gnome. Good for them, they did it. They referenced the music David Bowie's so ashamed of that we never get a big re-release of it. I want a remix of the Laughing Gnome with a shitload of reverb for fun. Why not? Come on, Tony Visconti, bring it out. Give me the Talking Gnome 2021. I want it. It's Laughing Gnome, the Laughing Gnome.
Yeah.
But oh man, so, and the thing is, because here's the thing, there's a quote that's attributed to David Bowie where it said, "Don't ever let them make a movie about me after I die." I want somebody to find a source for that quote. Start digging on the internet and find me a source, because I don't want to ever use that quote, or if I do use it, I'm going to have to make it clear. Did David Bowie ever actually say that? Did he say that, or is it just some alleged thing that he may have said? I don't know, and that's the thing. Because on the one hand, if it's after he died, why does he care? He's dead. But then I think, well, I understand. Maybe he wants to preserve his legacy, and he also wants his family not to have to go through some shit show like with Michael Jackson. You know, that could be it. But then I think to myself, well, with this movie, yeah, it got him wrong. Yeah, he was, like, he lacked confidence and was basically just a dick sometimes. Like, to the point where even I think David Bowie would go, I never did that. I'd never do that. Even in my most drugged out state where I basically just had cocaine, peppers, and milk, I still wouldn't do that. That was his diet for a while. Sad fact. That's a sad fact. I can confirm the milk because of the movie Cracked Actor, which is a documentary about David Bowie. Here's the thing. If you want to learn about David Bowie, you want to learn about his life story, on YouTube right now is the documentary Sound and Vision. It goes over his life story. It goes over the creation of Ziggy Stardust. It even goes further than that. It goes over his whole career up until like 2000. But it's such a... And they really go into detail on some things and some influences. There's a documentary, I forgot the exact name, but I'll show you a link to it later, Sean. You can put it in the description.
Okay.
A documentary about Ziggy Stardust, but actually goes over the creation of Ziggy Stardust. It isn't just a movie that's like, oh, I'm gonna create a new character called Ziggy Stardust with a bad British accent, because I can't do accents, darling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it actually goes in depth, and there's another one. This one I do know the name of. It's 5 years. Talks about Ziggy, but talks about the Berlin years, talks about all this other stuff. There are many documentaries. There's a documentary about his last 5 years of life. All these documentaries are better at telling you the story of David Bowie than this movie is. And honestly, if you really don't care about the life story, just buy the albums. Just listen to the music, and they tell a much better... I'd rather see a Ziggy Stardust movie, and I mean a movie based on the album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, than see a David Bowie biopic, especially one that is unauthorized. If I ever buy the Blu-ray, it's just for the review, and then I might even just sell it. I might even just leave it to rot. But I know I'm going to go in depth at some point. I know I want to go further.
Alright guys, well that was our review of Mank and Stardust. Well, Matt's review of Stardust.
Matt's review of Stardust, because Sean, you didn't see it, and maybe you're lucky for it.
Well, I hope to see you guys soon for the next review, whatever that is.
Yeah. Whatever it is, yeah.
And, yeah. So, see you guys around, and we hope you guys enjoyed our reviews.
Thank you.
Peace.